expect the best out of everybody out here.
Do your job. We don't need anything else.
Tonight's tonight. Every one of you, man.
What else? What you think?
Don't ever let
Aaron Rodgers can celebrate another trip to an NFC Championship game, in large part because of the way the Packers looked on the ground today. 188 yards rushing, led by the highly underrated Aaron Jones, who had 99 yards and a touchdown. And after the game, a conversation with Pam Oliver.
All right, Aaron Jones, when your run game is going like that, what are the possibilities for the Green Bay Packers?
I think they're endless. It opens up a lot of things for us and keeps the defense guessing.
Tell me about how special your group is. You've got a wonderful running back by committee. Give me an idea of what makes you guys so successful.
I think we have three great backs. When one of us comes in or comes out, there's no drop-off. We're all three complete backs who can run, catch, and protect in the backfield. So I think we got a special group here.
You run hard, you run tough, Aaron. Where does that mentality come from?
I think it's just the mountain on my shoulder from being doubted so much and being told I was too small, not fast enough, too little. For all the kids out there who's been told that, keep working your butt off, and that's not the truth. You can do whatever you want to do.
You're going to the NFC Championship game, the Green Bay Packers, in front of these fans. It's going through Lambeau Field in the NFC. Just what does that mean for you?
It's amazing. I wish, I know you were out here tonight so you could feel the energy. It's the extra added energy we needed. We missed our fans here, and we're happy to have them back.
Congratulations to you, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know, I think he's one of the more underrated players in the National Football League. He finished fourth in the league in rushing, over 1,100 yards. And not a lot of people were talking about him coming into this game. Actually, the talk was about Sean McVay, Brandon Staley, and this Rams team. Instead, it wound up being the Packer coaching staff that took advantage.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur and Mike Pettin. Mike Pettin was defensive coordinator of the Packers. Earlier in the year, there was talk that they actually may fire him midseason because they couldn't stop anybody at the run. But he made great adjustments. Obviously, you saw what they did with Cam Akers today. And also, Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, he was obviously with Sean McVay. Wanted to leave McVay because he was always going to be looked at. It's not McVay's. It's not his offense. It's McVay's. He goes down to Tennessee with Mike Vrabel, got beat up by Vrabel by a little bit, and then comes out here with Green Bay. Who would have ever think that he'd end up having the relationship that he has with Aaron Rodgers to become the coach that he's become? And, you know, we talked about it earlier in the pregame show, but I think if you look 2 years ago and we had Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur in the same room, you say, who'd be the more successful guy here in 2 years from now? Nobody was going to say Matt LaFleur. Nobody.
I don't know if the McVay-LaFleur comparison is a fair one. I think you're looking at the same system, obviously. They were all under Mike Shanahan. They all run the same system, but when you've got Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, it makes everything look different.
Yeah, they gave him a voice this offseason, Aaron Rodgers, through these Zoom meetings, and they finally all got together, and Aaron Rodgers finally felt like he was part of creating this offense.
But isn't that what a smart coach should do?
Yeah.
You put your best players in the best position to win. I mean, that's just what you do. And McVay had his success doing that in the previous years, and now LaFleur is having that success.
Well, if you look at Green Bay, you know, like what's going on in Tampa right now, and you talked about the paint and the coming together. Isn't that what you had your little analogy about it? It was a good analogy. So the ingredients or the paint, it finally comes together, but that's what they needed. I mean, they had that offseason. They had the kind of not disastrous last year. Obviously, they went to the NFC Championship game, but they're just clicking on all cylinders right now. And they have a really good offensive line. I don't think the offensive line of the Green Bay Packers gets enough credit.
And playing without Bakhtiari, their starting left tackle, got injured right at the end of the season.
The interesting part of it is last year when they went to the NFC Championship game, there was the San Francisco game when they went to the West Coast. There was another game, I think, out on the West Coast where they really got beat up physically. The only game you saw like that this year was really the Tampa Bay game. And now we've got Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Somebody's got to punch their ticket to go to Green Bay. And if it's Tampa Bay, maybe that's retribution on your way to the Super Bowl.
Tampa's the same thing, though. Brady finally bought in to Bruce Arians.
Maybe Bruce Arians finally brought in.
I think they met in the middle, but I say same thing here with Aaron and LaFleur. They met in the middle there.
Let's take a look at the flip side here real quick, because the Rams, you know, who knows where they're going? At quarterback, who knows where they're going on the defensive side of the football because Brandon Staley has been kind of a hot name talked about there, maybe getting a head coaching job somewhere else. But the shot at the end of the game, Michael, of Aaron Donald, with tears in his eyes, I think says a lot about how much they put into this season, how far they came, and just came up short today.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is the best defensive player I've ever seen play the game of football. And you know, he wanted to do his best. He put everything it is into his career and being the best of his craft. But unfortunately, the rib injury and just not being able to play. And I think there's more frustration on his part not being able to play the way that he's used to playing and playing as hard as he used to because he's physically limited. And I texted with him a little bit yesterday, and you know, he felt like he was ready to go. But when you're out there and guys are tossing you and you're the focus of that offensive scheme with those linemen, and they know you're injured, it's like blood in the water to a shark. They're trying to take you out, and he did the best that he could, and he has a lot of passion for the game, and there's no shame. As they say, there's no crying in baseball. Well, there's somebody who really never played the game.
All you want at the end of the year is an opportunity to compete healthy, and or as healthy as you could possibly be at the end. And it's unfortunate timing. You put so much into it. You can see the summit. You're almost there. He was there once. They held New England 13 points in the Super Bowl. If you'd have told them they were going to hold New England 13 points in the Super Bowl, you think he's walking away with a Super Bowl title. Aaron Donald is a special player. He's a guy that puts so much into it, and to fall that short of the summit is disheartening.
And especially, as you said, not being full strength and being able to give your all in this last game. All right, let's check out what happened today on social media about this game. And as you might imagine, a lot of people talking about the game and the performance of Aaron Rodgers all over the place. In fact, we'll take a look at a couple specifically. Hey, look at Anthony Davis of the Lakers. Feel bad for every team that has to come to the frozen tundra, meaning Lambeau Field. Next week, somebody will be there. It'll either be Tampa or New Orleans.
Wasn't that cold today?
No, it wasn't that bad. Here's like Drew Schiller. And then Pat McAfee. Another Boss Ross-like performance out of everybody. Hey, he painted a masterpiece once again. He certainly did. We'll talk about the big matchup between Breeze and Brady. One of those guys will be going to face Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau next week. That's when we come back here on the State Farm Postgame.
Getting our money's worth out of it.
All right, two things we know. One of those guys will advance by winning tomorrow. And if you play our Fox Super 6, well, somebody can win $250,000 and someone will win Terry's all-new Ford F-150. It is guaranteed to be given away, but you got to be entered in the Fox Super
2021
6 to have a chance to do it.
I just got the truck.
But that's why you
just got the
It's got very low mileage, as in no mileage on it. Hey, these guys, a lot of miles on both these guys. 43-year-old Tom Brady, 42-year-old Drew Brees. I mean, besides just the enjoyment of watching this game, what should we look for?
Well, first of all, I want to go back to what I said earlier on the pregame show. For all you young kids out there, watch how Breeze sets and delivers high and leads with his left leg. Same thing with, I absolutely think Tom Brady, if you want to learn how to pass the football, call Tom Brady's agent and find out who his quarterback coach is, because his technique is flawless. Absolutely. You'll enjoy watching both of these guys tomorrow.
And it's been a journey getting to this point for them. I mean, he signs down there in the offseason. It's a huge deal. The roster's stacked. But once again, you talked about it earlier, Jay, it's Bruce Arians meeting Tom Brady somewhere in the middle. I think when they're taking the ball down the field now, there's more 6 and 7 in protection. They're running the ball more effectively now. I look at week 1, and it was a classic example of you saw flashes of greatness, but they really just they killed themselves. And they're finally over the last 4 or 5 games.
Well, it's funny that Drew Brees, had he not come back, that may have been Tom Brady there. And you know, I have a great relationship with Tom, and I texted him a little bit yesterday, and he just sent me back a few words. We are ready.
We are ready for that game as well. Our coverage begins at 6 o'clock tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific. We will see you again for the kickoff of that one as we say goodbye with our brand new talk.
Tom Brady, too. I want you guys to know that.